Yeah.
Two. I'm gonna actually let you take this away. I just came up a podcast, but I'm thrilled. There's every opportunity I get to spend some time, and we get to share the things that have been going on. Like we were kind of talking about the green room. I'll just say this: that Dave and I are experiencers, and that's a perspective we speak from. I don't say that with my ego checked. I say that because if you want to hear from people that are having these experiences and not listening to other channels that are talking about people that are having these experiences, we're here to tell you what our truths have been and not some 3D spin. I will leave you with this, that the barometer that I hope that you all use, because what we're trying to get through to you is that this is all vibratory in nature. And so when you go away from something that you've listened to, has it dropped your vibration, or did your vibration rise while you're listening to it? Did you come away with a doom and gloom message, or did you come with something hopeful of something that's better? That is, what we're going to focus on. From time to time, we've talked about, the negative conditions that got us here, but we only do that to reference them, to give you a frame of reference on where we are now, because we don't see that any longer. We're still all around us and we're faced with, listening to it. But Dave and I have kind of learned to tune that out so that we can tell you what's really coming and look beyond that. Although there's a lot of that chatter, and because it's, just is what it is, it gets out there and it's hard to get unstuck because it's the first thing you heard. So, we're no longer here to unring bells, not here to beat you over the head with what we think that we've learned and what we're onto that we know is true. We're here to help those that do get it and help them along their way. That's where our attention's going to be spent. So, with that, Dave's got an idea of how we can collectively, channel that energy together.
Nice to see everybody. And what a pleasure to have a break of listening to Dave Wallace. Now it's been just over a month, and Lowell and I actually haven't spoken or anything in the last couple of weeks. So it's just a little catch up. And, you know, just like I said in that four-part series, and I've been saying since 2018 to my close friends, it's really important just to stay focused on the things that make you happy and fill you with joy. And so I hope everybody is remembering to dial down the absorption pattern, dial down the ratio of signals and frequencies that you've been tuning into. Uh, there's something really interesting going on. I received a creative thought image that when you hear a military or police helicopter do a flyby and they're only about 700 or 800 feet overhead, there's a there's a pad, a wave generating pad that's attached to the center bottom of the helicopter, and all of them are carrying it now. And if you get a close look at this weird looking, it looks like a vent, a louvered vent, and it's black and non-reflective. It's about 3 foot by 2 foot in shape, and it's about 3 or 4 inches thick. And it's this louvered vent that's on the bottom of all the helicopters now. It's like Coast Guard, police, lifeguard, fire department, news helicopters, and especially military. The military helicopters have bigger pads, and they're activating one of their plans to send a certain frequency down to cause people to become more distracted more easily. And it's not really working for people like me, but I can feel its effects. And so, I've thought, this is interesting. I better get on Lowell's channel and talk about it. I'm not calling it any special device. I'm just saying that the plan to get everybody as distracted and busy with complete BS is really up high. They've got their RIA set up high. I received a lot of really good information from my friend Toth, who comes to me and gives me information. And he said that there's no point talking about the Anunnaki. He said the Anunnaki got in big trouble back in 2015. And so I was talking to some other friends who were direct contactee or ambassadors for other species, and they've all received the same message. So Toth is my messenger, and he's such a sweet little guy, and he pops into either my bedroom or he'll show up at work, or he comes into my dreams now, which is great. It's more convenient because it's at times more and more difficult for them to come down and visit, dependent upon terrestrial human entanglements and how much military and police are flying around. They're trying to make things difficult on every level. So one of the messages as an ambassador that you guys really need to concentrate on is to stop listening to shows that talk about underground bases. Stop watching shows that talk about hybrid armies and using all those terms like UAP and UFO. Every time you look at that stuff, you give it part of yourself. And all of those acronyms set up by the government and by all these interested parties who don't know anything about celestial beings from other planets, they're all in it to make a buck. So just, use your inner voice in your heart and stop listening to the BS. I can't believe, I don't want to name names because then I would look like I'm on the attack, and I'm not. But there's people with subscriber bases of like 75,000 people who are all interested in UFOs, but they're tuning into these channels that are talking about negativity, talking about like ultra secret government classified files, and none of that stuff has anything to do with reality. Here's the reality. The planet's going through a major change. Our sun is definitely involved with that. I'm not going to talk about any micronovas or anything. I'm just going to say Gaia is sending all of us signals to get your fingers dirty, get your fingers in the dirt, go plant a tree, work with an arboreal society, pay for having a tree planted if you live in the city and you can't get away. Honestly, there's the Nature Conservancy, there's the California Oak Foundation, there's Save the Redwoods, and they're also active in British Columbia. So there's all kinds of really good arboreal societies that you can send $25 to plant a tree in your name. And buddy, do it, because that's the only thing that's important right now is listening to our Mother Earth, talk to our hearts to remind us that we're all loved, that we're loved by everyone in heaven, and we're loved by the spirit of Mother Earth. That's the only important thing. The more we allow ourselves to get distracted from this message of pure love, the more we're going to be unable to meet the occasion when the great change occurs. There's going to be all sorts of big things that seem terrible that are ordained for humankind to experience. This is part of the natural pathway and the natural pattern of the behavior of Mother Earth as she decides to shake off some of the species that don't necessarily align with the energy of the universe. And the species that survive will be the species that are in alignment with Mother Earth and the feelings and the thoughts and the needs of the universe and the power of love and unity in the one light of hope and love. All of those species that are with us today that have been around 200 million years or 500 million years, they know how to communicate with the universe. Those species know how to communicate with Mother Earth. So right now is a very powerful ability and gift for all of us to concentrate on being connected to the source of life and to all source. None of the stuff that you're watching on the internet right now has anything to do with your heart, that your soul is being healed by Gaia. None of it has anything to do with hope or love. So only tune in to messages that talk about hope, love, survival of the planet, survival of all the species who love Mother Earth. This is the most important thing. Trust me. For those of us that are already there, the only thing that will happen to you from now on will be great abundance and love is coming to you. Great abundance in the form of not possessions and material wealth, but in the form of being protected, being fed, always having a roof over your head. And then you'll be getting messages about where to go and what to concentrate on. So I told Lowell 3 weeks ago, everything was cool. I've spent the last 2 or 3 weeks planting trees here in Hermosa Beach. I've been planting wildflowers and indigenous grasses, and we have a big multitude of new butterflies that I haven't seen for a long time. And this is because Mother Earth has been reaching out to me to also share the message of a great prayer. So, on the very last day of this month, no matter where you are, no matter what time, on the very last day of this month, I would like everybody who's listening to this message to contact 5 of their friends and tell them this. Please reach out to 5 people you know. On the very last day of this month, we should send a prayer to the center of the galaxy for the love of all life, that all humanity loves life dearly, that we understand that life is a precious gift, and that every moment in Mother Earth is a cherishable moment that can never be replaced by any artifice, any material wealth, or any idea, or anything deigned by humankind, that we are lucky to know what planet we live on, and we are lucky to feel love. And send this prayer out on the very last day of this month. Start contacting people now. It would be great if we can get 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 people. But on the very last day of this month, no matter what time of day or where you're at, take 5 or 10 minutes to be in silent repose and think about how much you love life and how much Mother Earth loves us. And this message we send out for all in our galaxy, for all the species, all the spirits, all the angels, and a direct message to God, a direct message to Source. Tell Source and the rest of the galaxy how much you're in love with life and how much you love Mother Earth. It's so, so important. And this is the most important message I've received very powerfully since the very beginning, especially after watching people that all of us know and love talking about the Lion's Gate portal that's opened up, which is a beautiful thing that happens every year. And it's a great time to ask for abundance and to forgive yourselves and to also ask for forgiveness of silly things. So the universe loves us all very much. Mother Earth loves us very much, and our friends in heaven look down upon us and they smile and they love us too, because they know we will all be seeing each other soon and that everything is as it should be. And remember that thoughts are things, that what we think is very powerful, and that we must also consider that all of our free time thinking should be simplified down to 4 or 5 things: hope and generosity, love and care for life. And if we just concentrate on those things and stay focused on the things that we really love to do that bring us joy, then you will join that great frequency and that great vibration of powerful life and powerful love, which emanates from the center of our world and shines a very powerful light right through to the center of the galaxy. So please, won't you join us at the end of this month for a 5 or 10 minute repose to say the blessings for life and how fortunate we are and that we know this, and we send these blessings out to the center of the galaxy. And that's why I am so happy to be here with Lowell today. And that was really what I wanted to express. I don't have much else to share. Lowell, if you have any questions or any observations, and then we can
I do.
bid our
Yeah,
adieu.
let me say this. When you brought up the Lionsgate portal at the very same moment, that had come into my awareness. I was well aware that during this portal, and historically over the last 4 years, significant things have happened in my field during this period. But this year was supposed to be different. And between these two full moons, something extraordinary was supposed to shift. So the day that you're suggesting we send out this wave of vibration is the last day, or the blue moon, and our last shot within this window to ask for what we want. That's what the new moon's all about, or that it's a full moon. Here, all it just seems like energetically, cosmically, all of the energies are coming together for this very purpose to play out. And whatever you want to express out there in a positive way, it's going to come back manifested multiple times over. And so, I care if I stop for a moment when I said positive, because at the same time, I thought, just like you said, our thoughts become our things. And where your attention goes is what energy you're feeding it, whether you understand that or not. So it's just my reflex is to figure out a positive spin even on negative situations so that, I see that there's solution oriented things coming my way.
Right.
Um, and I'm looking forward to recording this so that you can listen to what you had to say because it was terrific. And I'll close with that unless you have something else to add. But there is something else that you and I should sit down and help them with. I think it's important for people to, at this stage, when we're talking about connections with BES, that they begin to more fully understand CLPF and CLPT. So I'll leave it with that. I hope it, triggers your curiosity. But if you want to understand what light messages are coming your way, Dave has a profound understanding of that he kind of touched on before. And I would love to hear you expound on that some more myself.
Okay, well, that sounds great. Why don't we put together something in regards to projecting images of quantum hypertext? And we'll show how that is a direct correlation to CLPT and CLPF. And why don't we do that? But let's do that sometime in the middle of next month.
Yes.
And so, everybody, if you just please remember to take that 5 minutes at the end of this month to send that prayer to the galaxy, the prayer of hope and love. Remember that the prayer comes from Mother Earth, and you are her child, and so you are speaking this voice to the galaxy, and you will be heard. You will be heard by God. You will be heard by all of God's heavenly angels. You will be heard by all the beyond Earth sentients and all the beautiful creatures that exist and live within our galaxy. And they will send this message back to you. And you will not only feel that, but you'll hear it too. You'll hear them say, "Thank you so much for saying this. And we love you too." And so it's going to be such an important day for all of us to join together spiritually and send out a great message of love and hope to the galaxy, not just to each other, not just to the world, because we do that on a regular basis, don't we? So let's send that message out, that very powerful prayer of love and hope to the center of our galaxy so that everyone can benefit from our prayer energy here on Earth. With that, I just want to say thank you, Lowell. Always a treasure to spend some time with you. I love your spirit. You're a great man and a wonderful friend. And everybody, I just want to say I love you. Have a peaceful month, and thanks very much for having me.
Namaste.
Namaste.